Into this silent, peaceful space, the first true thought arises. But it doesn't arrive as a language you know. It is not a string of words whispered in English or any other human tongue. It is a wave of pure knowing, a download of truth that illuminates your entire being in an instant. The first crest of this wave is a single overwhelming realization. I am safe. I am finally home. Home, not a physical place you remember, not a house with four walls, but a state of being, the feeling of returning to your source, to the very essence of your existence from which you were created. It is a peace that surpasses all understanding, a sense of belonging so profound that it erases any memory of loneliness or fear you ever carried. And carried within that wave of home is another current, even more powerful. It is the feeling of unconditional love. This love is nothing like the conditional, fleeting emotions of human life. It is the very fabric of this reality. It radiates from everything and is everything. It is not a love that is given to you. It is a love that is you and is in you and has been all along. You realize that every act of kindness you ever gave or received was a small echo of this ultimate truth. With this love comes a sudden, beautiful clarity. The illusion of being a separate self, the I that you protected and defined for so long, simply dissolves like salt in water. The feeling of being a single isolated drop of water vanishes, and you realize you are, and always have been, the entire ocean. Every soul you have ever known, every stranger you passed on the street, every star in the cosmos, you are connected to it all in a perfect, intricate web of light. So what is the soul's first thought? It is not one thought, but a silent threefold symphony, a chord of truth that vibrates through your very essence. I am home. I am loved. I am one. This is the core realization, the forgotten memory, the truth that waits for us all patiently, just beyond the veil of our physical senses. It is the grand welcome from the universe itself, reminding you of who you truly were all along. We spend our entire lives collecting things, not just the objects that fill our homes, but the labels that fill our identity. We collect names, titles, roles, parent, child, friend, employee. We collect memories, weaving them into the story of who we think we are. We collect worries, regrets, hopes for a future that is never guaranteed. This collection becomes a heavy coat, one we wear every single day without even noticing its weight. But what happens in the one singular moment when all of it falls away? What happens when the story ends, the roles dissolve, and the coat is finally laid down? Welcome to Life After Death Unveiled. Today, we are not asking what happens to the body or even where the soul goes. We are asking a question that is far more intimate, far more profound. We are exploring the very first spark of consciousness after it has been freed from its physical vessel. If you could shed everything in an instant, your body, your name, your history, your anxieties, what would be the very first, purest thought to emerge in your consciousness? What is the soul's first thought? This isn't a video with definitive answers carved in stone. There are no ancient scrolls to have recorded this precise thought. Instead, this is a shared exploration, a sacred meditation. Together, we will journey through the echoes of thousands of near-death experiences. We'll listen to the whisperings from ancient spiritual traditions, and we'll stand in the profound stillness where psychology and spirit meet. We will piece together the clues left behind by those who have touched the veil and returned to paint a picture of what that first moment of pure realization might feel like. It's a journey that may not give us a simple word or a sentence, but something far greater, a sense of peace, understanding, and profound hope. So I invite you to take a deep breath, quiet your mind, and find a comfortable space. Let's step across that sacred threshold together to ask one of the most beautiful and mysterious questions of all. What is the soul's first thought? The answer to our question, perhaps, isn't a thought at all. Not in the way we understand it. At first, it is a feeling. It begins as a letting go, a gentle loosening of a grip you never knew you had. Imagine the sensation of waking from a long, exhausting dream. The weight of the narrative, the urgency, the struggle. It all just dissolves. There is no great struggle, no final fight. For most, it is simply a cessation of all effort. For those who have known pain, physical or emotional, the first true sensation is its sudden, shocking absence. It is not the arrival of pleasure, but the complete departure of suffering, a silence where noise used to be, a stillness where turmoil once reigned. This absence is so total, so absolute, that for a moment it is the only thing that exists. Then, a lightness, a drift. It's a feeling recounted time and time again by those who have stood at this threshold. A gentle pull upwards, not forceful, but inviting, like a balloon whose string has finally been cut. You're no longer anchored to the floor, to the bed, to the solid world. And your perspective shifts. The room, the world you knew just a moment ago, is now below you. You see it not with eyes, but with an all-encompassing awareness. The geometry of the space, the people within it, the quiet hum of electricity in the walls, you perceive it all at once. And there, you see it. The vessel you called home for a lifetime. And here is the most profound surprise. You see it not with grief, not with panic, but with a strange, profound detachment, a fondness even, like looking at a familiar coat you have just taken off, now resting neatly on a chair. You feel a quiet gratitude for the shelter it provided, for the journeys it carried you through, but you know, with a certainty that requires no thought, that it is not you. The first true realization, then, is not an idea that forms in the mind. It is the feeling that expands in the soul. It is the feeling of separation from everything you thought you were, to finally discover what you truly are. It is a departure from weight, from pain, from fear. And in that departure, a space is created. A silent, peaceful, waiting space for the first true thought to finally be born.
To know this, even to simply contemplate it for a moment, changes everything. But this truth, this feeling of being home, loved, and one, is not a secret kept only for the afterlife. It is not a destination we must die to reach. It is our very nature, veiled by the noise of human experience. And we can find echoes of it right here, right now. You can feel it in the quiet moments of deep connection, in the genuine smile of a stranger, in the warmth of a loved one's hand, in the selfless act of giving without expecting anything in return. You can sense it in the awe you feel before the breathtaking beauty of a sunset or the profound stillness of a quiet forest. In those moments, the ego falls silent, and you touch that state of oneness. And for those of us who are grieving a loss, this understanding offers the greatest comfort of all. Our loved ones are not gone, They have simply returned to this state of pure, unconditional love. They have not vanished. They have merely remembered who they truly are. And in that state of perfect love, free from time and space, they are closer to us than we can possibly imagine. The love you feel for them, that is the bridge. That is the connection that can never be broken. The journey we've taken today is just the beginning of this contemplation. The real journey happens within your own heart. So now I turn the question to you. What does this realization mean to you? In your heart, what do you believe the soul's first thought truly is? Please share your own wisdom and reflections in the comments below. This is a safe space for us to learn from one another, and your story may be the very thing someone else needs to read today. Thank you for walking this sacred path with me. May you find echoes of this peace, this love, and this oneness in your own life, right here and right now. This is Life After Death Unveiled.